Today we are going to learn just how simple it is to make delicious homemade pudding without using a mix. Cooking instructor Heidi Lang is here to share a recipe inspired by the Deep South. I'm looking forward to this, Heidi, because I've never made pudding without a mix.
Well, you know, the thing that's in the mix that actually thickens the pudding is actually cornstarch.
Okay.
So we're going to show you how to do that the old-fashioned way, and the thing that's amazing about it is it won't actually take you much longer than opening a packet. So let's get started.
All right, sounds good.
The first thing we do is we're going to need a double boiler. So there are lots of fancy double boilers you can buy on the market. I don't believe in that. It just takes up space.
Okay.
You take a normal pot and you take a bowl. Voila,
there's your double boiler.
So you want, once you have that on here, you want to keep it high. You want that water to continue boiling.
Okay.
Okay, so next thing, we've got our cornstarch. So we're going to put that in here. Actually, I'll put this down here because we don't want to get this hot yet.
Okay.
We've got brown sugar, a 1/4 cup brown sugar, and a 1/4 cup regular sugar, granulated sugar.
Got it.
And then we're going to take 3 eggs. Now, some pudding recipes actually don't require the egg yolks, but it will actually, the egg yolk acts as a thickening agent.
Got it.
So we're going to put the egg yolk in here.
Where'd you find this recipe?
I made it up.
You did?
Yeah, yeah. Well, you know, most puddings have a basic formula to them, and this one does. But we added the eggs. Originally, it only had just the cornstarch. So we're just going to mix this. If you want to
sure, I can
mix this. And then the key is to make sure that we're going to add some milk, whole milk. Don't use skim milk because your pudding is going to be watery.
This is a
we
dessert
don't want that.
anyway, right?
Exactly.
What's the difference?
If you're having banana pudding, really, it's not the time to save the calories. So we're going to pour the milk in here so it'll be easy. Whoa.
Now you heated that up a little?
I heated this up, and the reason for that is that if I don't heat the milk up, it will separate. We don't want that, okay? So here, now there are egg yolks in here. What do you think will happen if I
You
just
might scramble them.
Bingo.
I've done this once or twice.
You have experience with that. So we're going to do something called tempering it.
Okay.
We're going to add a little bit, and now you're going to continue mixing. This is getting a little sloppy, okay? Continue mixing, and we'll add a little more. And once that's tempered, you can tell that it's now liquidy, then I'm less concerned about that happening. Okay, so now we're going to pour a little bit more in, more, mix,
This is like a typical pudding recipe,
it's
right?
very, very easy. Now think about it. If you opened a box, right, you'd be doing the same thing. You'd be adding the water or the milk, right?
Correct.
Okay, so now we're going to take this, and this is the miracle of cornstarch. Put this on here, and please, God, let this happen on occasion. The bowl is too thick. Make sure you use a stainless steel bowl, and it's got to be a heat-proof bowl that is not too thick.
Got it.
Okay? Because otherwise the heat won't work. All right? So I was once making this pudding for 500 people for a fundraiser, and the bowl was too thick, and I just stood there forever. It was not a good situation. So make sure it's a thin bowl.
Okay, sounds good.
Now this is the part where you get to let all your frustrations about wedding plans out, okay? If you have any, although it sounds like it's going very, very well.
Under control.
Okay, we're going to
smush these?
These are Nilla wafers, just your garden variety Nilla wafers. If you wanted to use ginger snaps, you could, but a classic Southern banana pudding would use Nilla wafers. So we like to try to stay with tradition. We're putting these in the bag, okay?
Sounds good.
Zip this, and I'm going to get some nice, good weapon here. Here's a good one, okay? We're going to take this and put it here. Let's move this out of the way.
All right.
And we're going to smash it. Just like that. Okay?
I can handle that.
You can do that, right? Now make sure that all the pieces are pulverized. We want kind of big, chunky pieces.
Okay.
And if you don't want to do that, you can just break them up with your hands, too.
This is much more fun, Heidi.
Isn't that fun? Yeah. I told you. So in the meantime, we want to make sure that water is boiling, and this is going to thicken.
Okay.
In the real world, you would stand over this to make sure that it doesn't get glumpy.
Grumpy?
Glumpy.
Oh.
It probably won't get grumpy. Okay, that's great.
Okay.
So, once this is thickened, which will be soon, this is
that's the secret ingredient, huh?
ingredient.
Maker's Mark.
Just put Maker's Mark on your counter, and you will be friends.
People get happy.
Will be happy and friends. We added 1 1/4 teaspoons of vanilla to this, and you can see it's already beginning to thicken. Again, make sure that water is boiling properly, and once that thickens, we're going to add this. While this is happening, let's go over here and talk a little bit about whipped cream. Now, I've already made this, but I'm just going to talk about how
it's real
easy
whipped cream. It's so much better that way.
This is the second component. Have you ever made whipped cream?
No.
Okay, so it's so easy.
Squeezed it out.
Heavy cream.
Okay.
Same thing with the pudding. It's not much harder. Whipped cream, we put 2 cups of heavy cream, 4 tablespoons of sugar, and 1 1/2 teaspoons of vanilla. And I'm going to show you. We use an immersion blender with an attachment, but you can use your mixer or whatever you have that's portable, okay? And we just go like this.
And that's going to get whipped.
For about 3 minutes. Now make sure you don't have a nice black outfit when you do this because it will get ruined, okay? And we do this, and this is how it gets thickened after about 2 minutes, okay?
Got it.
So what we're gonna do is we have, voila, a finished pudding.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Let's see how this one's doing.
Now, how'd you add the
Teresa.
banana? How'd you get the flavoring? You just.
We're gonna add some bananas.
Okay.
Oh, the bananas are here. At the end of the show, we're going to be slicing some bananas into it, but let me show you what's happening with it. This is
getting
almost
thicker,
thickened,
yeah.
okay? And so we're going to then add the
Maker's Mark?
Maker's Mark and the vanilla. This will be another 2 minutes. So let's take this while that's happening.
Okay.
It will get as thick as this, okay?
Great.
So let's take those.
Should I open
add
these?
that. Yep.
Put them all in?
Put them all
All right,
in there.
about 30 seconds.
And then we're going to add the heavy cream. And then you're going to stir it.
Oh, this is a wonderful
Isn't
recipe.
it great?
Yes.
How long did this take us?
Not that
5 minutes. And once you have all the ingredients together, it's really very easy. And then you're going to slice 3 bananas.
Okay.
And add that. And then cool it for about 5 minutes or so, 20 minutes in the refrigerator, and it's done.
I am so excited to try this.
Yeah,
This
and
is
when
fantastic.
when you make the pudding, you've got to refrigerate that for about 2 or 3 hours, okay?
All right.
Before you add the whipped cream, otherwise it's going to melt.
Heidi,
okay?
thank you so much. We'll have the recipe over at WTNH.com, and of course, we're going to dig in soon.
My pleasure.
All right, coming up next, Dance and Light performs over on Stage 8 when Style returns. We'll be right back.